This is my new Demi technique with the new chocolates collection. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love these, especially Auburn and this Velvet. Auburn is replacing Neutral Red, Velvet, Neutral Violet +1. The NV+1 is what this is replacing. You can tell it's the same tone. Oh my God, I am so happy with these. In this palette, this is the palette that it comes with. This is the Storybook palette. I like that it has this little tab on here and another part of my face so you can see a little bit better, like here. And like really buff it out. So you see that orange disappeared, but it looks a little bit more balanced, but it looked like nothing was deposited on the skin. See here, there's like this light part, and that's what that's supposed to be for. Just to kind of tone everything down, and you're putting on such a little amount of makeup, it's literally no makeup. As I was experimenting with these, you barely have to tap into these. I feel like they're way easier to use than the Demi. And it just looks like a natural contour. I go like around the bridge of my nose here. I just feel like it kind of brings a more life to my skin. And I'm showing you in real time just so you can see how fast this is. But I'll flip over to the other side of my shape brush and I use it for my jawline. Now look. See how it looks like so gray? And the more that you buff it, it's giving me that natural shadow. So it like chisels this out. If I use the smaller end and go into Neutral Velvet. Okay, you see the color of it? It's not like a dark gray. It has a little Neutral Violet. It has a little purple to it. But you see how it gave me like a shadow for the cheekbone situation. Okay, see? Look at that. So if you wanted like the sculpting of the cheekbone, tap in the orange 3. There. Like I barely need any. It almost looks like you're not doing anything. Like you're not depositing anything on your skin. That's the magic of Demi. And that's why it ends up looking like you don't have anything on, because you barely do. I do have this dark corner here. There we go. You could even line a little bit. This is Auburn. Like you barely need anything. And one thing that I have to say about these new après-ski colors, this is Ultraviolet, this is Purple Rain, and this is Huckleberry. These have been phased out from Demi. And I am hoping little by little, they're going to filter in the replacements like they did with this chocolate collection with the Purple Rain. Because this is the one that people are like really frightened of. So you could just see it a little bit. There it is. There. You see how it's purple. But mixed then with that Auburn, it could start to pick up more of a berry hue. Tiny, tiny bit. And you could always build up. Huckleberry. Now it's giving me a little rosiness. You could always flip to the other side of the shape brush. That's why I like it. It's like kind of floppy and you could like really feather it out. For the lips, and I have been really taken to using like almost like a French girl blotted lip. I wanted to try the Auburn and line it. Let me go into this Auburn. Now I'm going to show you how I do this. And then I just do this. Look how cute. So let's see. Let's try Huckleberry because this is so 90s and this is one of my favorites. So I changed it a little bit, but you could change it a lot of bit if you want and completely change the tone. And that's how I like my lips for every day. And when I keep them like this, it stays a lot longer, I feel like, at work. But I'm using like this bigger brush. I have the etch brush, which I left on the other side of the room, but you get the idea. See? Oh my God. The day is finally here. Seint released the replacement shades for the Demi shades that have been phased out. The ones that I use for my no makeup Demi, and I have been experimenting with the 3D line. Well, now these are the replacement shades. I'm going to show you them, and I'm going to show you my modified Demi technique. For those of you that are new here, my name is Lisa. I'm an esthetician and a Seint makeup artist. My channel is all about helping you with your skincare and makeup. Let me dig into this. Now, on my channel, you will see a bunch of Demi videos, Demi technique, no makeup. And I was always using my Demi shades, and a lot of these, well, the only ones that really stayed are now these color correction. So I could help you with your color correction, especially under eye darkness. These are staple Demi shades that have been left in the line. A lot of these are all phased out, and these were so helpful for bringing vitality to the skin, for sculpting, canceling out sallowness, green tones, ashiness. So they have now come out, and I'm hoping they're going to come out with even more. These are the initial shades. This one here is my absolute favorite. It's called Auburn, and I'm going to show you these in action. This one is Velvet. This is NV+1, the replacement for NV+1. I was asked, I've had many comments from people on my channel asking me about this, if it would possibly be coming back. So that's what this is. Oh my God, I'm so excited. You could use this as an eyeliner, as a lip liner for darker skin tones. Okay, first off, you have to have the proper brush. This is extremely important. This is the shape brush. There is a gold finish and a silver finish. I am liking the gold finish now. In my previous videos, you'll see that I was talking about it has to be the silver, it has to be the silver. But now that I've been using this gold one, it is starting to take on the shape of the original shape brush, and I'm liking the gold now. Okay. Let me go into the technique with the Chocolates collection. That's what this is called, and it is going to be available tomorrow, February 13th, because I'm going to be uploading this video the day before it goes live at 10 a.m. for Seint. All of my information is in the description. You'll find my link tree. The shopping link is there. You could also contact me for a color match. My text number is there. It's easier for me to talk with customers, and it's more like a real-time conversation. But if you prefer, you could email or fill out my color match form. And then we get into what you want out of your makeup. If you want full coverage, if you want to do the no makeup Demi technique, if you want to do just color correction, we talk about all of that after you fill out the color match form. Okay, so this is Marigold. This is supposed to be the replacement for Neutral Orange. Neutral Orange cancels out ashiness, blue, green tones, stuff like that. Now, it sounds weird because you're talking about the undertones of someone's skin. Now, I'm more on the fair side, so I have to be careful with this color. Also, the consistency is not as sheer as the Demi was. I feel like this consistency is between Demi and 3D. So you barely have to touch in order to get anything coming on and showing up on your brush. Now, what I'm going to do now is see how, if the ashiness gets toned down with this. See, look at that. You see how it comes up more. But when I rub it a little bit more, it removed that ashiness from my skin. I'm going to see if I could do it on another part of my face so you can see a little bit better. Like here. And like really buff it out. So you see that orange disappeared? But it looks a little bit more balanced. So that's what that is supposed to be for. These Demi colors, depending on your skin tone, that's how I'm going to be able to determine what it is that you need. You barely need anything. So I was actually putting on a little bit too much. You see how there, it toned that down, but it looked like nothing was deposited on the skin. See here? There's like this light part. And that's what that's supposed to be for. Just to kind of tone everything down. And you're putting on such a little amount of makeup, it's literally no makeup. Let's see what happens here on this side, because I tend to be a little ashy around here. So you do this part first before any of the sculpting, and that's it. That's all I'm going to do here. So you see how like I look more balanced, but I barely have anything on my skin. I think I'll leave this for after because I am going to incorporate some 3D, and I'll show you how to do that. So now let's get into the sculpting. This is my absolute favorite shade of the new contours that came out. This is Auburn. And again, as I was experimenting with these, you barely have to tap into these, which is good. I feel like they're way easier to use than the Demi, but you see that, how it looks like kind of harsh? But again, if you got the right proper brush, now it's starting to spread out. There we go. And it just looks like a natural contour. Look at that. You like barely have to get in, but barely have to tap your brush, which is awesome. And then what I've been doing, what I've been taken to really liking is also any trace elements. I go like around the bridge of my nose here. I just feel like it kind of brings more life to my skin. And you saw like I barely have anything on. Now, on my forehead, same thing. There. See? A little bit of warmth. And I'm showing you in real time just so you can see how fast this is. So that's that. Now, this neutral, no, I keep calling it neutral velvet. It's just velvet, but it's replacing neutral violet +1, NV+1. This is kind of like cola, very, very close to cola. But again, different consistency. I feel like this cola is a little bit more creamy, and this is for really dark skin tones. This is from the 3D line, but it looks so similar to velvet, although velvet has more of a brown color to it. Cola is almost bordering like a really dark brown, almost black. And when you sheer it out, though, it kind of gives like a gray shadow. Now this, what I use this for, because if you're a little bit deeper skin tone, you could use it like on the hollows if you wanted to, but I'll flip over to the other side of my shape brush and I use it for my jawline. Now look, you see how it looks like so gray? But then the more that you buff it, is giving me that natural shadow. And then two, right here in front of the ear. So it like chisels this out. And then you go down, but you see how it doesn't look like a line of demarcation because this cream makeup is very forgiving. And the more that I'm buffing this out, the more natural it looks. Now let's go on this side. There we go. See? Easy peasy. And then the double chin situation, could also use it. Look at, I'm like barely tapping in there. Look how much material comes off. And you could do something a little bit darker too here if you wanted to. What I usually love to use, because now I have the Chocolates collection in this palette. This is the palette that it comes with. This is the Storybook palette. I like that it has this little tab on here. So it's just really easy to open. And I have, this is the Après-Ski collection. These are the new palettes that are available. And this is my full face and then some, which is what I like these 40s for, because that's what it is. You could fit 40 of these tins. But as you can see, I have like a whole bunch of different like Tetris like situation going on here that you can configure these however you want because it's completely customizable. So I like to use Bella Bronzer. Bella Bronzer is very sheer, and it's a lot creamier consistency. I hope this is not distracting if I'm like hitting, because I have like a table right here where I have my camera. So I like to use this to bring some color and warmth down here. And even still just with the shape brushes still works. Although the blush and bronzer brush works really well for this because you cover more surface area. I usually do a better job of this, but you get the idea. You could put this wherever and it stays all day because you're putting it on so sheer. Again, that's the whole point of the Demi technique. But you see how my complexion, I only did those two things so far. A little bit of Auburn. Before I continue, you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to go on my under eyes because now, like with my skincare, I barely need, like if you look at my previous videos, oh my God, my under eyes were such a problem. I mean, such a problem. They still are in a way because I do still have these hollows that will never go away unless I get surgery. But the amount of concealer or Demi that I need now is like almost non-existent. It's fantastic. So let me go back in my Après-Ski palette because this is these are my power colors, I call them. And these are very, very popular. Most people do use the 03 and the 01 orange, level 3, orange, level 1. And that's to combat blues because most people have like dark blue or purple. Depends on your skin tone. Again, all my information is down below so I could figure out based on your skin tone which one you would need and where. Also, there's Demi for melasma, for sunspots and stuff like that too. It's fabulous. And it's undetectable. So I'm going to show you that right now. I also forgot to put on, before I did the sculpting, I should have done this, but since I don't have anything on my under eyes yet, I always use a little bit of balm. And this balm has a skincare ingredient in it called squalane. So it's amazing for keeping everything nice and supple. And I just barely put any on, just a little tap. And then it just keeps any wrinkles or creasing at bay. Another thing that's really nice about having this in your palette, I'll use another finger and just dip once for your lips. Anywhere on your skin, if you have any dry patches, it's really wonderful to use before your cream makeup or Demi so you don't get any settling in the fine lines and it leaves everything like nice and smooth. Now, I like to use the bright brush for my Demi. And there are different brushes. Again, we'll talk about all of that when we're doing your color match, which depending on what it is that you need, there's ones that are more pinpoint for blemishes or melasma, sunspots. And then this I like to use for my under eyes. It just works better for me. The orange 3. And let's see if you could see here, like as it's happening in real time. There. Like I barely need any. It almost looks like you're not doing anything. Like you're not depositing anything on your skin. That's the magic of Demi. And that's why it ends up looking like you don't have anything on. Because you barely do have anything on. There we go. I used to need a lot more than what I do now. I do have this dark corner here that this really helps. There we go. And if you do end up putting on a little bit more than usual, or more than you should, rather, is what I wanted to say, tap with the other side of the brush, with the fluffy side of the brush. You could also use this fluffy side to deposit, which I do on my eyelids. A little bit goes a long way. And I'm just looking to tone down. I don't want to completely remove all the discoloration on my eyelids because you could work with it where it looks like a natural eyeshadow. But it tones down like any veining, this orange 3, because veining is usually blue or purple. But again, depends on your skin tone because there are ones that kind of have a little bit more of a yellow hue. So usually people with medium skin tones would need something with a little more yellow. Okay, that's it. And then you could always go back and touch up if you needed to. And this takes a lot. It's a lot quicker to do this when I'm not talking. You know, I usually tend to kind of linger a little bit too long when I'm doing tutorials because I'm also using this camera as my makeup mirror. So sometimes that's a little weird. So I'm trying to make sure that I have everything covered. Okay, so that's it for now there. Now what I'm going to do is, let's see, let me go back to the chocolates. So one thing that I wanted to say too about this Marigold color, the neutral orange, I have used it as an eyeshadow and it can come up kind of like almost like a khaki color, but it actually was really cute when I did it the other day. Now what I'm going to do first is I'm going to use a little bit of the Auburn. And I'm going to put this with the small side of the shape brush up here. Now you see how I was saying I didn't necessarily want to cancel out all the discoloration that I had because I'm going to work with it. So this is like having a very subtle eyeshadow. That's it. Look how cute. So, so pretty. And I have something called here the Blur Brush. Where is it? Here it is. This is also from the Demi line. Did you see how it's a little bit thicker? Almost like you could even use this as an eyeshadow brush, which I do. Also, I have another one. But with this, let's see what happens if I put this neutral orange. It almost looks like a, yeah, like it almost looks like it comes up like a khaki color on me. So if you get this chocolates collection, I feel like this neutral orange might surprise you because, I mean, it looks crazy. But you saw how I used it on my skin down here. You use very, very little. And then I have just like a little towel over here. Sometimes I'll use that to remove any excess. Or you could get these half cleaning tiles and use that for your Demi. So we also have the fuller size ones, but these are really nice because then you could add more stuff in your palette. And that is very helpful when you are switching between colors. Now, let me do a little bit of this Auburn. Let's see, hopefully it's not too thick. Let me try, yeah, maybe this one. This is the Smudge Brush. Okay. Yeah, so you could even line a little bit. This is Auburn. Like you barely need anything. Like that's really pretty. It's really pretty. I like it. And you could go back and add more Auburn with the other side of the Blur Brush, the fluffy side, and feather some more if you want. Now, I find that as long as I'm not getting all crazy, like on the lid or where the crease is, if I go above it, the cream won't crease. And I'm putting on barely any. You see how I'm tapping into the makeup, barely touching it. Look how much is depositing. So pretty. Oh my God. All right, then what I'm going to do, if you need any cleanup, you can go back into your color correcting shades of Demi for under eyes. And I'm going to go here with the fluffy side of my bright brush. And you could just clean it up. Like so. I mean, I'm talking, it is trace. Like the only concentration of any of these colors that I have right now are on my eyes because I did it on purpose. And that neutral orange, I mean, the one that looks really weird, I actually like it as an eyeshadow to put it on a little more concentrated. But again, this all goes with your skin tone. Let's see, maybe I got a little bit too crazy up here. Let's get some of this off. But I kind of like the eyeshadow like going up a little bit higher. I kind of feel like it gives it more of like an editorial look. All right, now let's see what color. Got to put color on. And one thing that I have to say about these new après-ski colors, this is Ultraviolet, this is Purple Rain, and this is Huckleberry. These here, now this is RV7, Red Violet 7. This is straight R7. These have been phased out from Demi. And I am hoping little by little, they're going to filter in the replacements like they did with this chocolate collection. Now, Purple Rain is very close to RV7, but this just has a little more red in it. So this, any purple, would combat yellow and sallowness that a lot of people end up like getting on their skin, just especially as we get more mature and we don't have as much circulation like going through in our skin and showing up. So putting the flush back with these colors really makes such a difference. So with these après-ski colors, I have been messing around with that. This is not an après-ski color. This is actually Marrakesh. No, wait. No. Yeah, it's not après-ski. Après-ski had another one, Raspberry. I didn't get Raspberry because it's a lighter pink than this. I wanted this one. So this one, all of these are still permanent in a line. That's what I really like about Seint now being an affiliate because they don't really have limited edition stuff anymore. And everything that they have introduced has been permanent in the line. So I am so excited about that. Do you like my haircut? I actually just got like a new haircut and I got bangs and I really, really, really love it. It's like kind of like a French girl bob. And yeah, this is my favorite haircut like so far. So it's looking really good. And I'm learning how to style it. I think I'm doing better because makeup, I could sit here and mess with it all day. But when it comes to my hair, oh my God. I have no patience when it comes to my hair. So I think I'm doing like way better than I used to before. So little by little, hopefully it'll get better and better. All right, now going back to the colors. So I am going to see, because Purple Rain, I mean, it looks straight up nuts here, right? And I'm going to swatch all of these things at the end too, so you could get like a better idea and see what I'm talking about. But right now, just for the demo. Now, you know what I'm going to do too? Let me see what happens if I use the smaller end and go into Neutral Velvet for the sculpting. I barely did anything. Look at that. Okay, you see the color of it? It's not like a dark gray. It has a little neutral violet. It has a little purple to it. But you see how it gave me like a shadow for the cheekbone situation. Okay, see? And you see my skin is very fair. And it doesn't look nuts. But you got to be very, this table. Got to be very careful. You just tap it like that. Look at that. And then remember, you have the double-ended brush, so you can go on the other side. You've got a little cray. Look at that. So if you wanted, like, the sculpting of the cheekbone situation, unfortunately, I have acne scarring here that I'm still working on to fade. But you see it doesn't look crazy. It actually looks pretty good. And now I have that little towel over here just to remove any excess. I'll go back into Auburn because this is the bronze tour. You see? Look how pretty. I love it. Like this tone, I absolutely love. And I think it's actually going to work for a lot of skin tones. Even deeper skin tones, I think this is going to look so pretty. You could just like leave it like this and you're like ready to go out the door. That's it. And then around here, because I've been taken, you know, to doing this, and even around here, I feel like it helps to hide the bags if I don't keep this area too pasty. So that's been something I've been working with too. Now, if you did want, before I put the color on, actually, if you did want a little more coverage, I have zero foundation on right now. But if you wanted to, with the shape brush, again, I'm really liking the gold finish now. I'm going to go into my foundation shades, my highlight shades, and this is, for me, Candlelit and Athens. My palette is not your palette. Your palette is going to be customized to you. But with this, because it puts even your foundation, your highlight shades on like Whisper Light, because all of our brushes have different finishes or give different finishes. So I'm going to go back and forth here, because that's what I've been doing between those two shades, because that's another thing that's really nice about having this customizable palette, that you could change your shades like in the summertime, like when you need, when you get a tan or whatever and your skin tone is getting darker and you need to implement another shade, pop it out, put the other one in, you could go in between, come up with your own concoction. But if I wanted a little more, now I know I did the neutral orange to remove the pastiness, but just so you could see, you see how it deposits barely anything, but it'll still give you almost like a tinted moisturizer coverage. There. That's it. That's all I'm going to do. And then if you wanted something on your forehead, you could even do like something like a highlight. This is my highlight shade. This is Versailles. It's the lightest shade that we have. And that's it. But you see how it like balances everything. It makes such a difference. And I barely put anything on. And then this ends up lasting all day because you're putting it on so sheer. And it feels amazing, like on the skin. I mean, your skin looks like skin, feels like skin. Love it. All right, now let me go into, I'm going to start with this with the Purple Rain, actually, because this is the one that people are like really frightened of. So you could just see it a little bit. There it is. There. You see how it's purple, but mixed then with that Auburn, it could start to pick up more of a berry hue. And I love berry blushes, but you see how little I'm going. Tiny, tiny bit. And you could always build up like so. Okay. And then Huckleberry. You see how like little bit I'm layering? Now it's giving me a little rosiness. You could always flip to the other side of the shape brush. That's why I like it. It's like kind of floppy and you could like really feather it out. So cream makeup is extremely forgiving. Go around the bridge a little bit, any trace elements that might be on the brush here. And that's that. Now, the other thing that you get in the Chocolates collection is Xanadu Bronzer. And Xanadu Bronzer is Bella Bronzer and Glow Illuminator mixed into one, where it was a very popular combo for people to do Bella Bronzer and Glow Illuminator. Now they just made it all in one pan. And that's this. Again, I'll do swatches afterwards so you can see what I'm talking about. So this Xanadu here is a glowy bronzer. If you wanted to, you don't have to. You could leave yourself like this. But if you wanted something a little bit more bronzy, you got that in your collection. Now, you could get all of these individually too, but I really like this collection. I'm like using it like crazy. So the Xanadu seems to like, I'm like really being very cautious with how I come in here, but it looks like the Xanadu, you could kind of tap and swipe a little bit in order to get some, but it's like a glowy bronzer. You see that? And it mixed in with that berry, but it's like making everything a little bit more cohesive with the color because I put, you know, the Auburn straight on my eyes, but I wanted to show you the berry, which brings flush back to your cheeks, which is also part of the Demi technique. I feel like I do it a little bit different than most people because some people would do all of this color first before doing their under eyes. I like doing it the other way around, and you could always touch up if you need to. You see that? That might be why, because I end up doing it different than most people. That might be why they do their color correction on the eyes at the end, because you could end up swiping it off. But once, you know, you get it on and you put these on so sheer, as long as you're not rubbing your face, it's going to stay put. But I like to do it like this because, I don't know, I don't like it to look too pasty on my under eyes. And I feel like if I do the Demi last, I always get that pastiness. But I love this. Look at that. I barely have, I have no foundation on my skin whatsoever, except for that super light sheer placement that I just did with the shape brush and my highlights, just to kind of smooth, like a real life filter, if you will. So there's that. Very nice. Okay, now for the lips, you can even use these for the lips. And I have been really taken to using or making like almost like a French girl blotted lip, which is my absolute favorite way to wear lipstick. Sometimes I like full on lip, of course, you know, especially if I'm wearing a red, but for every day, I wanted to try the Auburn and Line It. This is the multitasker brush that we use a lot for eyeliner or lip liner. So let me go into this Auburn. I feel like it would work better for me than this Velvet. Velvet is almost like that darker gray. This has a little bit of that reddish tone, and I think it would be a really pretty liner. Let's see. Actually, maybe I should do it here. Now, I'm going to show you how I do this for that blotted look. Okay. Yeah, I think I'm really going to like this because I also have lip liners, like the pencil liners I do this with. Kind of draw out a little bit, and then down here. And this is creamy enough. And then I just do this. There. Look how cute. Look at how cute. Now, what happens if I do... This is the dark Velvet. And on me, this is dark. See if it kind of gives almost more of a shadow. I'm going to play with this a little bit more and see if I could do something where it's like more contoured, where it could look like you have like more of a plump lip. Okay, so oh man, I really love this Auburn. And I feel like for my skin tone, it works really well. Yeah. Oh my God. I have to get like a bunch of backups of this because I definitely have to put this in my purse. I have to put it in my purse palette. And then what you could do, if you wanted to change the tone, but you have this as a base, and I feel like it's a thicker, like, you know, the contours have more of a consistency where it's more stiff on purpose. So it could actually like stay put. So let's see. Let's try Huckleberry because this is so 90s and this is one of my favorites. So I changed it a little bit, but you could change it a lot of bit if you want and completely change the tone. And that's how I like my lips for every day. And when I keep them like this, it stays a lot longer, I feel like, at work. So that's it. That's all I do. And this took way longer than it would if I was just doing it myself. But I was talking in between and showing you things and all that. So this is my new Demi technique with the new chocolates collection. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I love these, especially Auburn and this Velvet. So again, Auburn is replacing neutral red, which I was using all the time, you know, for the sculpting and the bronzing and the bronzer. And then this Velvet neutral violet +1, the NV+1 is what this is replacing. But you could still get use out of this neutral orange, I feel. And the Xanadu. Now, if you don't want to get the full collection, you don't have to. You could buy these a la carte. So you could just get Auburn and the Velvet by itself. And then you know, whatever bronzer you want to put. That's the beauty of this, is that you can customize your palette however you want. And I've been loving having this 40 palette, this après-ski. And on the bottom, I've got eyeshadows. And then I put a couple of more lip and cheeks here that I was using. Now, a lot of these, I'm doing like that Demi technique situation to bring like the flush back into the skin. And I've been using a lot of the shades from the 3D line. Now, let me just quickly go over and show you the comparisons. Now, this here is the original neutral red from Demi. And let me just put this here and hopefully you'll be able to see. Okay. You see how it looks almost like Bella, but it's got a little more reddish tone to it. Now let's get into Auburn. Here's Auburn. It's creamier. The neutral red, I have to like really like warm it up in order to get it onto my finger. So let's see. This is, yeah. Yep. It's pretty much the same. This, I would say, almost seems, yeah, it's like a different consistency, but you can see it looks exactly the same. Oh my God, I'm so excited. So excited. Now let's see the NV+1 is this right here. This is the NV+1. Okay. I don't want to mix it up, but I have to warm it up a little bit more because these were more waxy. But even still, I got to say, with the new formula, it still stays on all day. Because like I said, I've been experimenting. So that is, you can even probably see it here. It's like way more waxy to like get it on. So there's NV+1. Now, let's get into Velvet, which is right here. Barely have to touch it. All right, put that right under here. You see how it looks way more creamy, but sheared out, you can tell it's the same tone. So, oh my God, I am so happy with these. So, so happy. Now, Xanadu, let me show you that, and Bella also, because I have Bella here. So I am going to use, yeah, I'm wiping it off. I have like a towel over here. Okay, I'll put Bella on top of this neutral red. So you see Bella is very, very popular. Chances are, if you're my customer, you have Bella, and it's very, very close, but it's a different consistency. This is way more sheer. You could really sheer it out, and then you could see there might be a little bit more of an orange component, whereas this is red, which I love. Again, combats like ashiness, like green tones, you know, like when people look, yeah, like that sallowness has green in it, you know, so that really, really helps to combat that in your complexion. Now let's see what else. I wanted to show you, oh, okay, so this is what I'm excited about, and I'm hoping that they're going to come out with even more shades that mimic what they phased out. This RV7 is amazing. It almost looks like black cherry. But you see how it has a little bit of red into it, and it's matte. And then Purple Rain is what I was using, but you could always mix this with something that's a little more red. Maybe even this Huckleberry. Let's see. So you see the difference? This is Purple Rain, way more purple. This has a little red in it. So let's see what happens. RV7, Purple Rain. You can see it here. It has way more pink. Now, what if I took Huckleberry, even though it's not a red per se, but if I did Huckleberry and Purple Rain, just a dot of it. Let's see what happens. So here's Huckleberry, and let me get a little more Purple Rain actually. So that looks not necessarily red, but it has red in it. See? It looks like more almost like a fuchsia. But if I do this, maybe I could get close to RV7. I'd have to play with it, but kind of. See? Like it has like more of the tone of this. This is RV7 and this is Huckleberry and Purple Rain. So Playing with these has been so much fun, and I am so happy that I've been hearing about this Velvet replacing NV+1 for over a year. Those of you that follow me, you may have heard of Michelle Spieler. She's like a really big like Saint artist, and she's a 30-year makeup pro also. So I always watch her videos, and she's been talking about that NV+1. Oh, speaking of which, you know what else I'm going to do? I'm going to show you the eyeliner trick that you could do with it. Because she does it all the time. And I'm going to do it with this Velvet. We were doing it with NV+1, but now this Velvet is the replacement for it. So, let me see which one I'm going to do it with. I'm going to do it on this side because I used the lip on this side, and I don't want to put that on my eye. But yeah, I've been hearing about this being in the works for a while, so I'm so happy that it's finally here, and I could share it with you guys, and I could play even more with my modified Demi technique. Okay, so this is Neutral Velvet. Look at that. And super, super easy. You can make it a little thinner too if you want, but I'm using like this bigger brush. I have the etch brush, which I left on the other side of the room, but you get the idea. See? So pretty. So I actually haven't tested this out for all day. I haven't done this yet for some reason. But look at that. It gives you like a little smudginess, and it's almost barely there. This I put on a little thicker, but you could always smudge it out a little bit more if you want. And then makeup, the cream makeup is so forgiving. If you go a little bit too far, tap it out and it's gone. But it'll stay on your skin unless you're like excessively rubbing, of course, right? Now, I believe that is all I wanted to share with you so far. And I'm going to be back doing more Demi looks with these new shades for sure. And because I am like re-energized now with the new Demi replacement shades. Because I was really bummed when they phased out specifically the NR and NV+1. But I am overjoyed that these are back. So, again, all of my information is down below. My hair tends to, like, sometimes gives me a wing, so it's a little distracting to me. Probably more distracting to me than it is to anybody else. But anyway, all of my information is down below. Contact me if you want to try Seint Makeup. They also have a money-back guarantee. 30 days if you're, you know, like if it's not your thing or whatever. But if you've been curious because you've been seeing these videos, I think this makeup is amazing, and it is whatever finish you want. You could build up to it. I actually got a comment. Somebody asked me about different brushes. If I have a video with different brushes, I am going to do that. I'm going to target different brushes that give you different finishes. This is a 3D brush, and this is great for all-in-one, doing your whole face. There, you know, because we have like a whole expanded collection of these, and each one gives you a different finish, and each one is, you know, can be used to do your whole face, but it gives you a different, you know, from full coverage to super, super sheer. This, super, super sheer, which is the Demi shape brush. I hope I didn't ramble too much. Thank you so much for joining me. As always, any new subscribers, new people that have found my channel, welcome to my channel. I am happy to have you here. To my current subscribers, I will definitely see you soon because I'm so energized with this new, with these new shades that have come out. I'm going to be doing like quite a bit of tutorials going through my experimentation with my new Demi method. So I will see you guys soon.